Hello, ladies. Steph here with Empowering You Coaching. And all right, it is now saying I'm live. So, good evening. I am, I had a meeting this morning to work on some stuff for our patio, and it shifted my whole day. And so I worked out, just finished my workout just a little bit ago. And so now I'm all warm and feeling like I need to come down a little bit. Thank you for joining me today. If you're here live, please say hello. If you are catching the replay, say hashtag replay. I'm going to wait just a minute to see who hops on, who joins us tonight, who's here. I just want to mention that the Motivate Your Mindset workshop that I did on Monday is up in this group right now, and it will be here. I'm going to leave it up until Monday. And if you haven't seen it yet, I want to recommend that you watch it. I think it's super helpful for anybody looking to make change, shift the way they're thinking a little bit, just to look at how you're looking at your goals and your thoughts. And it is 90 minutes. So if you want to pace yourself, again, you have until Monday. So I have been talking about wellness this month. And a couple weeks ago, I mentioned that in this group, when we talk about wellness, I'm not talking about weight loss. I'm talking about your overall wellness, your whole person. Yes, yes, it is the food that you put in your body, and we'll talk about that today, but it's also your activity, your strength of your body and your strength of your mind. How strong are you to advocate for what's important for you and to you, right? That's a big part of your wellness. Your wellness is also um, your spirituality, your closeness to that which is greater, whatever that means to you. So again, today I want to talk about food and your wellness and food and your mindset because uh, it's it's all connected, every piece. And I think I talked about this last week. If not, it was 2 weeks ago. Just that if one part of us isn't quite working, other parts suffer as well. Just like your car or an office environment or anything else. If one part isn't showing up, the other parts either don't work or they have to work harder to make everything else work together. So to begin, I just want to start with the word diet, mostly because I really can't stand that word. So I think the reason why I don't like the word diet is because it's so often used to describe weight loss. I'm on a diet, but truthfully, um, your diet is the food and drink regularly provided or consumed. So it's like the uh, dictionary definition, right? The habitual nourishment, that is your diet. So the food you are always putting in your body. And your diet is what provides you with energy and development for your cells and your muscles and everything to maintain life. So it's simply the food you're consuming. And food plays such an important role in the promotion of your health and preventing other things going wrong, not just keeping you going, but to keep you from falling apart as well. um, and that's where it shifts into the relationship from our health, just our health, to also our mental health and our mindset. And so, for a moment, I want to talk about stress and sorry. Um, so stress can cause some people to change how they eat. Sometimes people, when they're super stressed, they find themselves eating a lot more and they just mindlessly eat, right? Other people, when they're super stressed, they don't eat They just forget or ignore hunger cues, um, and go long times, long stretches without eating. So some people that overeat, um, those people are kind of focused on, um, how do I want to say it? They're attempting to distract themselves, right? So they're eating to distract themselves potentially, where those who stop eating are so focused on their stress, they're just tuned out, right? And our brains send cues to our body when they're feeling stressed. And so when you're stressed, your body sends out cortisol, and that's the stress hormone. And cortisol actually makes you crave sugary, salty, fatty foods. And this this is kind of crazy, but it's actually because um, our bodies are getting ready. So stress, our body releases the cortisol, and our stress is actually triggering the fight or flight inside our body. So our body is like, we need the food that's going to nourish us the most to be able to get us to go away the fastest. So when we feel that stress come on, or we don't even really need to feel it, our bodies just do this awesome trigger thing, which we'll talk about in a second. But it triggers us to then consume or look for foods that are not necessarily super great for our bodies or our minds. And um, so we crave those foods, those sugary, fatty foods, so that we are able to get away from the stress. But we don't get away from the stress because we're no longer fight or flight ready all the time. Our body just doesn't know that it's not a lion chasing us. It's our kids who aren't doing their work because they have to go to school online, or it's our boss, or it's the people that aren't working in their capacity that they should in our offices, right? So here's an interesting research study about stress. And I'm talking about this in particular right now because of the last year that we've all gone through. So the research is that experiencing one or more stressful event the day before eating a high fat meal, which again is the kind of meal that we crave when we have that high stress moment, can slow our body's metabolism down so much that women can potentially, ready, see an 11-pound weight gain over the course of a year because of the way it slows our metabolism, that stress, that cortisol. So, this is where the food we are putting into our body, not only does it change how we gain weight, what we're craving, it also, once that food is in there, then we have to figure out how it's actually affecting. Is it making us actually feel good? Is it making us feel slow or tired? Or, um, like for me, aside from other effects that wheat and gluten do to me, I get very foggy and like almost like I had a glass of wine, right? Just foggy and a little like, hmm. But if it, and that takes some time to figure out, right? To figure out that that's what it is. But those are the foods that we're craving. Those foods we're craving when we get into that stress changes everything about us. And if we're going to gain 11 pounds in a year because of this stress, imagine what stress that causes all the other organs in our bodies to be functioning and our muscles to be moving, right? Because if one thing slows down, one thing stops working the way it's supposed to, the rest of our body needs to do extra work to keep up. And so, I mean, so when talking about stress, the best way to combat stress or emotional eating is to be mindful of the triggers, right? Um, and be ready to fight the urge of whatever that food is for you. And I hope you're all following this. So, um, So I actually talked about habits and triggers and cues. I believe it was last month. So for those of you that are watching that were not here last month, I know I have a few new people. I'm sorry, my eye is driving me crazy. Um, I spoke about triggers. And so there's the cue or the trigger that happens, and then the behavior that happens because of the trigger. And then the behavior offers us a reward, right? So here you have the stress trigger. Again, maybe it's the child refusing to do work. Maybe it's the coworker that's not pulling their weight, the boss yelling at you, your husband fighting. I don't know. So that is the trigger that causes the stress, right? The behavior in this situation is the overeating or the eating of the sugary, fatty foods. The reward here is honestly, it's the short reprieve of the stressor. Your body is looking for a quick fix. It is not looking for what's actually best for it, which is important because, again, our bodies want what has worked. It doesn't necessarily want change because change is bad. It doesn't know what's going to happen with change. And I know I've said that before, but it's so important to keep that in mind here because our bodies work for us as long as we are listening. And then it's just working to survive the best way it knows how. And the way it knows how to survive is what it did yesterday because it's still alive today. Doesn't matter that it's not being healthy doing it, it just means it survived. And so, with that in mind, you really just want to look at those triggers to find what the trigger is that's causing that stress so that you know if this is the thing, the overeating is the thing, or the not eating at all, because not eating can be just as detrimental to your health as overeating, or eating poorly when you are feeling that stress, right? Because your body needs the nutrients, and without the nutrients, all the other organs and pieces are not working. So, lowering your stress with things like, I don't know, a stress ball or bouncy things. Sometimes that's really helpful for some people. Taking some deep breaths, taking the time to take deep breaths, taking the time to find Insight Timer is an app, or Calm, or there are a couple others, but those are the two I use. Insight Timer and Calm both have short short meditations that you can find and like in the app. And then when you need them, you just can say 5-minute meditation and things will pop up. And that will be a nice way to bring down your stress, right? And really regulating your blood sugar throughout the day to help keep your body and your emotions stable and help you think more clearly, right? So I hope you're following me so far. I think I am going to go. It's probably going to be about 20 minutes tonight instead of 15. I apologize. But the big goal is to nurture your body in a way that helps your body and mind feel as good as possible. And nurturing your body based on what you know is good for you specifically, not what everybody else says works for them, because they are not you. And recognizing that not all food is nutrition or nutritious is good. And I do want to say that cutting out all sugary foods is not realistic for most people, right? I'm not a hypocrite. I have fake ice cream in my freezer that I can eat when I want it. But I also am aware that I no longer eat that when I feel stressed. I actually choose to eat it when I'm feeling relaxed, and maybe that's not the right choice either, but the little things of ice cream in my freezer now, for me, they're actually Oatly, they're really good. But I digress. I am very aware of when I'm consuming those now so that I am not hurting myself, because for me, too much sugar is not good, but I also love a little bit of ice cream sometimes, right? Same thing with corn chips. Corn chips are another thing, or a cookie, right? Do you know those things are upsetting your stomach or making you feel sick or giving you brain fog, or something that keeps you from concentrating? Those are the foods that I'm talking about when I'm saying those are the ones you want to be avoiding. And you want to be avoiding them when you know you need to be on top of it, right? So if you know that cookies cause brain fog and you know that you're about to go into a meeting, but you're worried about the meeting, be aware of that. And I'm going to back up and just say for just a second, if you did not see, I believe I offered when I was doing the habit talks a month ago that I have a habit reward cue um, outline if you would like it, just to see if you can find what that cue is for you or what that trigger is for you to stop the cycle or change the behavior, right? So knowing what that trigger is so that you can say, is this the right thing I need to do for my stress right now because I want to be all the way in the next moment? That's an important thing for you and your wellness and your mindset and everybody around you, right? This is where food comes into your wellness and your mindset. I hope I'm making sense here. I do have a 4-day food experiment if anybody is interested in that as well. Um, and that is, let me be very clear, something we all have different needs, right? Like my food, my chemistry is not your chemistry, and what works for me is not going to work for the masses. And the same goes for most people, right? I'm talking about feeling great, thinking clearly, being resilient when life throws you a curveball, right? And so I want to be geeky here for a second because this is where my whole life comes into play here. The whole gut brain connection. And the gut is considered the second brain because there are over 500 million neurons that connect to the brain in your gut. And this is also where your vagus nerve is located. And this is the largest nerve that connects the gut and the brain. So the interaction goes back and forth both ways. And the breathing that I do on Mondays, that relaxes the vagus nerve. This is all gut brain connection in in my little world, right? And I will say I am not a doctor. I've said it before and I will surely say it again. But the information I share with you is from years of research and reading and going to doctor after doctor and classes to learn why I feel the way I feel or felt and why I did and do the things I did and do, right? Because I am a chemistry set. I am always changing. I am always figuring out what the next right thing for my body is. Um, and I've learned that distress, right? When your gut is stressed, um, it can cause, or it can be the cause of, or it can be the symptom of things like anxiety or depression. So let me say that again. When your gut is distressed, it can bring on anxiety or depression or other things like that. It can also be distressed gut can be a symptom of anxiety because of the gut brain connection. It's super amazing, you guys, and you should read all about it because this is another, aside from habits, this is where I geek out because our bodies really are all the way connected, right? Very much a chemistry set. And when one piece, I've said it 1,000 times, but I feel like it's I feel like it's band-aids are put on too quickly. So it's important to remember that if one piece is off, other pieces are taking the slack, right? So the food experiment I have is super easy. It's 4 days. And it's really just time to experiment with your body to see and determine what foods, make you feel uplifted and full, and what foods make you feel slow and sluggish after the high wears off. So let me know if you're interested in the food experiment, and I am happy to send it your way. I will say I know that full body wellness is work. And again, we all want an easy button, right? And I know the best way to get wellness is to ask for help. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, ask your family for help. Talk to your friends, talk to your doctor, a coach, ask for the food experiment, right? Ask for the habit, uh, the trigger habit reward um, outline I have to figure out where the pieces all fit in for yourself. And MAC, as most of you know, is Mastermind Accountability Club. MAC is a group set up for support and accountability. And I am here to be your support. And maybe your goal is to, I mean, because I'm talking about food here, maybe your goal is to stop eating those sugary things. I'm not going to lie to you, you guys. My biggest hardship with food, this is so bizarre, but is corn chips. I love anything corn chips. And it has taken me a long time to be accountable to myself and my body to not eat corn chips. That is so weird. I know. But I'm sure that other people have their chocolate or their whatever it is. But if that is a goal that you want to work towards, I can help you find the triggers, find the new behaviors, give you accountability to hold you and lift you when you inevitably are going to stumble because we are human and we do, right? And quite honestly, um, we are nothing without our health, right? Everybody's heard people say it, but this past year has knocked us all on our asses at least once and making us really either more determined or maybe a little bit more lazy, right? Because again, that's what our brains want. Our brains want the easy. Our brains want what has worked before. Our brains want less work, especially when we are stressed, especially when we are stressed. And having support and guidance while working to recover your wellness is really key to achieving it, right? And I would love to chat with you about MAC and how MAC supports and guides you through your journey to wellness, how MAC can help you instill a positive mindset, how MAC can offer and does offer a life raft when things get hard and give you more motivation to achieve your wellness goals. So if you haven't already, and I mentioned this at the beginning, if you haven't already checked out the Motivate Your Mindset workshop that I did on Monday, please do. It is again up until next Monday, this coming Monday, the 26th. And that's all I have for tonight. So thank you for watching and I hope you are well and I will see you later this week. All right, be well, you guys.